Masters. We're actually based out of California, and what it is we do at our center is we give a home to rescue wildlife. Either to animals that have been injured somehow and can't be set free back out to the wild. Those animals are sent to us at our center. Or other times we have a big problem, especially here in the United States. We have a problem with people trying to make pets out of wild animals. That never ever works. It's also against the law, and those animals are taken away and sent to our center as well. Then what we do is give these animals lots of love, lots of attention, and lots of food. And the animals that we can, we train to travel, going mostly to school groups, giving us a chance to share some amazing rescue wildlife up close and personal. Now, we've actually been working very closely with SeaWorld over the last 26 years. And we've gotten to witness some of the amazing rescue work that SeaWorld's done. In fact, since SeaWorld first opened their gates, they have rescued and released over 40,000 animals. And this year alone, just since January, SeaWorld Orlando has rescued and released 2 dolphins, 21 birds, 29 sea turtles, and 47 manatees. That definitely deserves a round of applause. Yeah. That is honestly incredible. And they're some of the best at what they do. So when SeaWorld asked us to come share some of our rescue wildlife with you, we were super excited to do so. And we brought some awesome animals for you guys to meet. And we're going to start with one of our local friends.
Hello, everyone. This is Poppy, our Virginia opossum. Now, opossums were originally an East Coast animal, but they were spread across the United States as the railroad tracks were being built. Believe it or not, back then, these guys were actually brought state to state for use as a food source. Now, we got Poppy because one night a lady was driving home and she saw a little ball of fur run across the road. She tried her best to stop, but unfortunately she couldn't, and she accidentally hit that fur ball. She got out of her car to find out that she had hit an opossum. But she was very smart, and she had heard somewhere that opossums are marsupials, meaning they're mammals with a pouch on their belly where they carry their what? No, their lunch. No, you guys are right, they're babies. So she was very brave, and she walked over and checked inside that pouch, and inside she found 5 little baby opossums, all still alive. So she scooped them up and took them to her local rehab center where they had the best chance of surviving and returning to the wild. Now, those baby opossums were doing great. They were getting bigger and stronger, starting to climb around and find their own food, all except for one. They eventually found out that Poppy here was almost completely blind, so he would not be able to survive with his siblings in the wild. So instead, he was sent to our center. Now, little Poppy is about 2 years old, and that may seem young, but opossums only live to about 3 or 4 in the wild. But here's the kicker. In those 3 years, a mama opossum can have up to 50 babies. Yeah, I think if I had 50 kids, I'd probably only want to live about 3 years too. And opossums actually do one other really cool thing. They actually keep us safe just by eating. Opossums love to eat ticks. In fact, one opossum can eat up to 5,000 ticks every season. And since ticks are one of the biggest carriers of Lyme disease, that means that as these guys are cruising through your backyard, snacking on all the bugs, they're actually keeping you and your pets safe from disease. Let's give a hand to Poppy, North America's only marsupial.
Speaking of marsupials, this next guest is from the land of marsupials, Australia. And he's what's known as the laughing Kookaburra. And this little bird here is truly famous for this voice of his. See? Do any of you guys have one of those friends that never stops talking? If you don't, you're probably that friend. Now, I know, I'm very funny. Now the Kookaburra here, like I was saying, they use his voice in the background of all these jungle movies, but he's from the exact opposite climate. He's from the grasslands of Australia, but they use his call because it does sound like it comes from the jungle. You guys want to hear a really good one? Yeah. All right, you ready, buddy? I love it. Yeah. Now, Although he may be famous for that awesome voice of his, he should be famous for something else as well, because this bird here is an amazing hunter. He's actually the largest member of the kingfisher family, but he doesn't hunt fish. No, instead, he hunts mice, lizards, and snakes in the grasslands of Australia. I've even seen videos of these birds hunting snakes as long as 6 feet. They'll dive down with that specialized bill of theirs. They grab onto the snakes right behind the back of the head, then they'll whip them back and forth until it's like a limp noodle, then he starts to swallow. Slowly swallowing and digesting that snake over 3 days, while the rest of it hangs out the corner of his mouth. Sounds weird, works very well for the Kookaburra though. Now, somebody here in the US fell in love with these birds. They found a way to purchase one online and brought one into their home. Only this person lived in an apartment complex. And see, Kookaburra are known in Australia as the outback alarm clock because every single morning at the break of dawn, they let out that call. Let's just say the neighbors weren't such a big fan of Giggles here, which is why he was sent to us at our center. Now, I do love this bird a lot, but being woken up by that call every single morning would be enough to have me pull my hair out, kind of like our next guest. But that's Giggles, the laughing Kookaburra.
This is Whizzer, our turkey vulture. Now, turkey vultures get up in the morning and the first thing they do is spread out their big wings and start to sunbathe. He will use his wings just like big solar panels, and once he's nice and warm, he'll take to the skies. Once he's up there, he'll lock out those wings and start doing big, lazy circles in the air. Well, they look lazy, but he's actually working. He's going like this. He's smelling. He's smelling for the grossest, stinkiest, most disgusting, rotten thing that he can find. And when he smells something totally gross that's been dead for a while, he says lunchtime and dives right on in to make a meal of it. Vultures eat dead stuff. Now, most of us hear dead stuff and think, ew, but if we're honest with ourselves, most of us eat dead stuff too. No one's chasing a cow down the road to chew on its leg. The only difference is vultures eat meat that has so much bacteria in it, it would make us very sick. They're basically like nature's cleanup crew. Plus, because they're always sticking their faces into rotting meat, they have that bald head that helps keep their feathers clean. He's got another way of keeping himself clean, but it's kind of weird. Do you guys want to hear it? Yeah. If he needs to clean off his legs, he pees on them. Yeah, that's why we named this guy Whizzer. Now, we got Whizzer because about 17 years ago, someone thought it would be a good idea to shoot this big, beautiful bird in his left wing. And because birds' bones are hollow, when they break, they don't always heal quite right. And that's what happened to Whizzer here. He can fly a little bit, but not enough to survive in the wild. Let's give a hand to Whizzer, our beautiful turkey vulture.
Now, we're gonna go from beautiful to cute. This is Maya. She's about a 40-year-old spider monkey. She's been at our center for almost 30 years now. And in 1994, we got a call from LA County Sheriffs saying they found a monkey in a dumpster. Apparently somebody threw her away. And this kind of thing actually happens a lot. See, people get monkeys, they try to make them into pets, and they quickly learn when that's not such a good idea. See, monkeys are set up by nature to be the farmers of the rainforest. They are set up to eat fruits, they swallow the seeds, they squeeze those seeds out the other end in a nice little pile of fertilizer, and they do this about every 15 minutes. So as they're planting fruit trees and people's couch cushions and around the rest of their house, people get very tired of them. Not to mention the fact that as monkeys get older, they tend to get an attitude, people get bit, they get sent to the hospital, and if that's not enough, they find out that these monkeys can live 40 to 50 years. So they get rid of them in all sorts of ways. Whether they get caught maybe it's fish and wildlife, or they send them to centers like ours, or other times they just release them into the world. Kind of like what happened to Maya here. Now, spider monkeys, they are not set up like a lot of other monkey species. She doesn't have that opposable thumb on her hand. She does have one on her foot, but instead, can I see your hand here, girl? Instead, she has 4 alien-like fingers that allow her to hook onto the branches, and she can swing through the trees as fast as a horse can run on land. She also has the coolest tail in the jungle. Her prehensile or grasping tail is so dexterous that she can pick up something as small as a grain of rice with the tip of her tail. And I see her use that tail for all sorts of stuff. She hangs by that tail, she carries food around with it, she scratches her head with it. Every once in a while I'll catch her picking her nose with it. I mean, it's the most amazingly useful tail I have ever seen. But when Maya first came into our center, she was not doing very well. She was fed so much of the wrong foods when she was young that she has major health issues even to this day. In fact, she can't even extend her legs fully, which is a big part of why she's not able to live with other spider monkeys and why she's with us at our center. Now, spider monkeys are amazing top-tier climbers, but our next guest has some surprising climbing abilities as well. But let's give a hand to Maya, the spider monkey.
This is Disco, our gray fox. Now, we got Disco from a local rescue center that took him in when he was found abandoned as a very young baby. They had intended to raise Disco to be re-released, but the rehabber that got assigned to him did all the wrong things. She loved him, she cuddled him, she let him play with her dogs and her kids. And so when she took him back to that center for release, they instantly realized that she had ruined him. He had lost his healthy fear of people and wouldn't survive in the wild. So instead, they called us. 12 years ago, we took him in, and he's been helping us do educational programs ever since. Now, Disco is a pretty special little guy. Foxes only live to about 8 or 9 in the wild, and he is 13, so he is a senior citizen. That's why we brought him to Florida. And gray foxes are incredible creatures. They can scale trees with ease using their cat-like movements, and they are exceptional hunters and scavengers, eating anything from berries and grasses to mice and carrion. But for a while, their numbers were drastically decreased due to overhunting for their beautiful fur. Plus, we introduced an invasive species. The European red fox has taken over gray foxes' habitats. They've taken over their food sources. But luckily, in recent years, gray fox populations have been making a steady comeback, which I think is really cool to see. Now, Disco here may look pretty cute, but actually, he's very stinky. Gray foxes have a very strong musky odor that he would use in the wild to defend his territory from other males, as well as a personal cologne to attract the lady foxes. But even though he's a bit stinky, we still love him. Now, our next animal used to be a challenge animal. We would bring her out for audiences to try and guess and see what she was, but in recent years, we've been losing this challenge. She's about to come on out, but let's give it up for little Disco, our gray fox.
Now this is Samantha, and what is she? A lemur, exactly right, but she's not just any lemur, she's what's known as a brown lemur. Do you guys know why she's called a brown lemur? Yeah, because she's brown. Now, if you look at the lemur's eyes, would you think she's awake in the day, or do you think she's awake at night? That's what I think too. With her big, yellow, owl-like eyes, she looks like a nocturnal or a nighttime animal, but she's not. She's actually diurnal. She gets up in the mornings, and the first thing that she does is she greets every member of her lemur family. And how one lemur says hello to another lemur is kind of weird. Do you guys want to see? Yeah. Are you sure you want to see? Yeah. All right, I'm going to make it sound like a pig. She's going to answer me back. Then she's going to do something rather strange. You guys really sure you want to see this? Yeah. All right, things I do for an audience. Ready, Samantha? I think she found something. Now, first she answered my pig-like grunt, and then she licked inside my nose. Now, if you guys want to experience what that's like, how about everybody turn to the person next to you and say hello like a dog. Don't do this. I got in big trouble with a preschool group because I couldn't get them to stop. It's like their new school handshake. Now, the lemurs, they get up, they greet their whole family unit, then they go off looking for food. Now for her, she doesn't want to use the ground. Where she lives, there are fossa, a jungle cat-like creature that loves to eat lemurs. There's also crocodiles by the water's edge. So when she gets around, she uses the trees. And how she gets from one tree to the next is she jumps. They're even called leaping lemurs. You guys want to see her jump? Yeah. All right, amazing, amazing jumping ability. Ready, Samantha? How's that? No, that's not a real jump. Come here, girl. Oh, wait. She's peeing. I think I'm gonna wait till she's done. Let me know when you're finished, Sam. All right, we're good to go. Time for a big jump. Oh, she's cheating. No cheating, we gotta do a big jump. Come here, Sam, you can do it. Big jump. Come on. Sam, give her some encouragement. Yeah, Sam, let's go. Woo. She pooped right before she jumped. We're a full-service program. No, that for her, that was nothing. That was barely a hop. But Samantha here, she's over 30 years old. She's a fairly old lemur, so I don't ask her to do super far jumps anymore. But when she was younger, in her prime, she can jump from my shoulder and she can land on the table all the way over there. And as she jumps through the air, she uses this big, beautiful, long tail of hers to keep her balance as she would be bounding through the canopies of Madagascar. Now Samantha, though, her story is she was found in a man's home in Palmdale, California. Somebody had decided it would be an okay idea to take a lemur, an endangered species, and keep her in a cage in their garage. Now, does that sound fair to her? Oh, I love this girl a lot, but I wish she was roaming the canopies of Madagascar, licking other lemurs' noses. That is where she truly belongs. And there are over 110 different species of lemurs. All of them have two things in common. They're only found in Madagascar, nowhere else on our planet. And every single species of lemur is endangered in the wild. If we don't do something fairly quickly, we can actually lose these beautiful creatures during our lifetime. Now lemurs though, they do one other funny thing. They keep their fur nice and soft and clean by using their teeth. Their four front teeth on their bottom jaw stick straight out, forming what's called a tooth comb or a dental comb. They rake that comb through their fur, keeping their fur in perfect shape. That way they can spend as little time on the ground as possible. Kind of like our next guest who likes to spend her days soaring high up in the skies over eastern Texas. But that is little Samantha. Let's say goodbye to the brown lemur here.
This is Tico, our Harris hawk. Now, Harris hawks are incredibly unique. They are one of the rare birds of prey that actually hunt in packs. Because they come from such a harsh desert environment where food is very scarce, they found that by teaming up, they have a much higher chance of success. We got Tico from a facility called the Colson Project that actually breeds and re-releases Harris hawks back into areas of eastern Texas that have been devastated by hurricanes. Normally, they pair the birds up before release, so they have a good chance of survival, but Miss Tico here was actually deemed non-releasable because, and I quote, she doesn't play well with others. Because she was a bit of a diva and wanted to stay single, she was sent to our center instead. Now, Harris hawks are incredible daytime hunters. They have eyesight that's about 6 times better than ours, meaning that even when they look like a tiny little speck high up in the sky, they can still clearly see a mouse all the way down on the ground. And they have these really cool ridges over their eyes that act just like the front of a baseball cap to shield their eyes from the glare of the sun. Their taloned feet use roughly 500 pounds per square inch of force to grab their prey and make it a meal. And they even cooperate with their partners to back prey into difficult situations, communicating with their fellow hawks by flashing the white on their tail. That's what we like to call a hawky-talkie. Because they're such excellent cooperative hunters, Harris hawks get the nickname the Wolves of the Sky. Let's give a hand to Tico, our Harris hawk.
So, with Harris hawks being such an excellent example of cooperation, I feel like we can really learn something from them. See, we're not doing a very good job of cooperating with our wild friends. See, animals around our world are suffering due to things like climate change and deforestation. Take monkeys, for instance. 90% of the world's monkey species are endangered. Most of the world's monkey species are disappearing from this planet. If we don't change some things, we are going to lose some of our most beloved animals, as well as make our planet very hard for us to live on as well. And so saving animals really is a big part of saving ourselves. But I'll tell you guys, because we get to work with all these amazing wild animals, people tend to ask us this one question. They tend to ask us, what is your favorite animal? So I'm going to ask you guys today, do you guys have a favorite animal? Yeah. What's your favorite? Dolphins, Kookaburra, I love the laughing bird, and we do love the wildlife, that's why we do what we do. But my favorite animals, without question, without a doubt, this next guest. His name is Basil, and well, check him out. Come on out here, Basil. This is my favorite animal. I trust him, he trusts me. We never ever fight each other. I know who wants to be with me. You have to know, the wild animals much rather be in nature where they truly belong. But I like to end each one of our shows with just a few easy things that we are able to do to help protect our wild friends. Things like reducing single-use plastics and recycling, or picking up garbage and keeping our environments clean. Or if you find a sick or injured animal in the wild, get it to a wildlife rescue center. There are literally thousands of places set up to give the animals the proper care they need to hopefully get them back out to the wild. Anyways, thank you so much for coming and listening to our rescue tales, and enjoy the rest of your day here at SeaWorld, everybody. Thank you very much for coming.
Hey guys, you like this video? You have to see the video, the Sea Lion show. I'm going to leave this description, under description, the link, so check it out. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.